Hello everyone on the channel. Today I'm going to answer a question that concerns many beginner drivers. Are there people who simply cannot learn to drive a car, like just by nature? Let's go. Alright, let's answer the question immediately. In my opinion, there are no people who just cannot drive. There aren't any. That's my personal view. There are people who aren't allowed to drive. From a medical perspective, some people have contraindications. Something with their vision, some mental or psychological disorders, diseases and so forth. Yes, well, we're all human. Stuff happens and we get sick, unfortunately. And not only arms, legs, head, body, but sometimes there are some problems and disorders inside the head. That is, there are people who cannot drive. And there are people who simply do not want to drive. And that's all. That's my personal opinion. Quite often we encounter a situation when, for instance, two friends, one of them is burning with desire, or there is some urgent need to get behind the wheel, to drive, to carry something, maybe for work, doesn't matter. There are all kinds of life situations. He needs to, and he offers to his friend, listen, come join me, otherwise I will have to solo theory, you. He seems to think so. And it hurt him in general, this driving for him, cars, he lives a great life, everything suits him, but this one starts it. He might even have some kind of dislike for cars. It happens to people at an early age when they were children. There was some situation related to cars which left such a mark, a negative imprint in memory. Perhaps a car almost hit him. Maybe a child playing in the yard and some car honked loudly there. There was a screech of brakes, it's very strong on. It might be really healthy for the child to stay in the subconscious. This is purely the reason why he just doesn't want to. He has an internal rejection. But in one way or another, this person, the second friend, he just doesn't need it. He neither wants it nor needs it. And if he agrees to his friend's persuasion and goes to study, then internally, trust me, he doesn't understand. His brain doesn't comprehend why we need it. Then this is a person who doesn't need to drive, doesn't want to drive, you know? But if you say that you sat down after the analysis, talk to yourself. So the pros and cons, why do I need this? You should explain to your brain that we need it for some reason. Then what will we gain if we reach this goal? So we study for a fail, sit for a roll. What will it give us? It turns out that if you have a certain desire, the kind that comes from within, or you have some sort of the need to drive, whatever the reason, you need it. You've had enough of walking with 2 or 3 kids. Your spouse is always at work. It's a need, a necessity, of course. You have to fulfill it. You're fed up with riding in taxis. It's unpredictable who's coming. You're embarrassed thinking how you're going to get from the store with 2 or 3 kids and a lot of bags. That's the necessity to drive. One of them, we sometimes have a need when we're offered a really good job, but there's a company car, we don't need to drive either. So if there's a desire or a need, people who can drive, there are none. This is my, I'll say it again, personal opinion, no matter what anyone says. I have been working since 2008. People have come to me more than once who said that 2, 3 or 4 instructors have already told me. Teachers, yes, not just people, but specialists who work with people. That you are not supposed to drive, don't torture yourself, bus is your thing. Vehicles, but after 10 or even 2 or 3 lessons, sometimes I had to work for several months with this person, he sat down at the wheel. Now these people drive no worse than others, and sometimes the problems were here. Sometimes the problems were psychological. When people were bullied, they were indoctrinated. They were hammered into their heads that you are not given this. These people begin to believe in this sacredly. If we begin to believe in this sacredly, we will prove our every failure. That's what I'm talking about. People start looking for confirmation of these words, these thoughts. So friends, let's not dwell on this topic. You always need, when you want to go there to study for a license, or you are already studying there. For example, sit down and talk to yourself. Do you really need this? Do you really want this? If yes, then you need to understand that driving is just a skill. It's a practical skill. Learn to play the guitar, any other musical instrument, synthesizer, piano. Learn to type quickly on the keyboard. Learn to swim, run, walk. These are also skills that we master in our lives. And if, for example, I have a typing speed now, like typing quickly on the keyboard, like I'm typing a text, right? And they tell me, come on, quickly type the text. I typed quickly and now I've got gibberish on the screen. Well, why can't I learn how to type quickly on the keyboard? No, it takes time. Certain techniques, certain games, and you'll get the hang of it. The topic is something else, and I need it as a regular user to draft some kind of script. It will do for me anyway. Same goes for driving. You know, you need it, I need it, or I want it. Go ahead, rectify the errors and move forward. While learning, we always make errors. It's totally fine. So if you make some mistakes during training, it doesn't mean you can't do it, friends. If you fail, you're mastering a difficult, dangerous profession. A car is a big source of danger, but why would you want to become a professional specialist in just 15, 20 lessons? It's not possible. So let me repeat, if you have a desire or any necessity to drive a car, if you need to get behind the wheel, you can drive a car. I assure you that 100% as a specialist who's been working with people since 2008. So let those thoughts out of your head, and it's better to fill it with other questions, such as how can I achieve my goal? What mistakes am I making? Working on mistakes, will that make me happy? Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Support this video with a like and leave your opinion about it in the comments. And finally, I wish you all good luck on the roads without any emergency driving. Bye bye.